Hey everybody, so I'm going to be talking about these maxpeeding rods from China. These are a Chinese rod that are very cheap and seem like very good quality in my opinion. I've already bought these rods before and it seems like they've upgraded. So they now come in a new box, but that doesn't really matter. But it does seem like they got their shit together a little bit more than a couple of years I bought their rods. So now it comes with like a nice little package of stuff. You get this nice like embossed sticker that I might put on my car. We'll see. It is a little bit big, but it is very nice. And it looks like it comes with some kind of packet and then some kind of thing. And then there's like a sticker maybe in there, but we don't really care about that. So here's the rods. I've already opened up, inspected them. And these are the rods for the 1zz-fe engine. I didn't want to buy new rod bolts for my 1zz rods here because they're expensive and my small end bushing was out of spec. These were measuring a little bit too much. I think what the manual says is like it needs to be like 3 thousandths, and they were measuring like 6. So I needed to either press a new bushing and get new fasteners because these ones were stretched. I've measured them, or buy a whole new rod. It's kind of wasteful, but those have 180,000 miles on them. So these rods look really nice visually. And they have really good feel to them, and I haven't measured them completely yet, but the nice thing about these 1zz ones that I was very worried about, and when I was doing a bunch of research for rods, is if it had this hole for the oil squirt hole. A lot of times these aftermarket rods delete that, and what ends up happening is the oil doesn't squirt up into the cylinder wall as best as it could. This will improve longevity if you're just running like an NA setup. So, and there's a little hole right there. So I was very excited to see the hole. The engineers must have realized that Toyota put that hole there for a reason, so they just copied it, and it looks pretty good, and that's one thing I was really excited about. Something else they've improved on is that the edges are not as sharp anymore. And then also they've radiused this corner. These used to be a really sharp angle right here. And now they're very smooth. You can see it. See that? It still does have like a little lip right there, but they're much better than before. So they've improved the casting, they've improved the machining, and overall the rod looks like just very professional. Very good rod. So, and then the brass bushing inside has a oil retention groove, which is really nice for longevity, and it also has the oil hole like the stock rod. So let me go ahead and measure these now. So this is the forged rod. We're going to throw it on the scale, and this is one thing that you might want to consider if you're just going to run like an NA setup. So this one measures at 489 grams. We'll let it sit there for a second. Okay, it went up to 490. All right, so 490, and then 450. Let's see if it does anything. All right, it looks like 458. So that's 32 grams heavier than the stock ones. So, and these have all the fasteners on them. You got your bolts, and there's no bearings in here, and so it's 31 grams heavier. So not too much heavier than stock, but still something to consider if you plan on switching out with these forged ones. In my opinion, they're just they seem a lot better quality and a lot stronger than the stock ones. And the nice thing about these maxpeeding rods is the surface here has been machined, and in my opinion, that's very important for thrust side clearance measurements. On some of the USA rods, they've, I guess, what do you call it? It's like, it looks like it's this surface right here. So they've machined this away to be exact dimension to fit inside the crank journal and have a correct dimension here. Whereas some of the USA rods I've seen, they don't really worry about that as much. And I don't know if that's because it's a USA thing, like American market, it's just not as important. But in the Japanese market, this is pretty important because this doesn't control the flow of oil coming out. The bearing does, but it's very important to have a good solid oil cushion on the side of your connecting rod journal in the crankshaft journal too. Just like the stock, Toyota did it for a reason. This is a nice smooth piece of metal, and then you also have these outlets here for oil to come out, and then obviously the oil hole right there too. But on these rods, excuse me, on the forged rods, you don't have this little thing right here, which in my opinion, I haven't really seen a lot of arguments against why you would need this when you have the hole. So if you know anything differently, let me know. But this basically just operates as the same thing, but it's also on the other side too. So you kind of have it on both sides. So maybe it oils both sides of the cylinder wall, but that's what the oil scraper does on the piston rings. So yeah, these rods are pretty cool. And I'll just go ahead and just blast through these real quick to show you how accurate these are. So we got 490. It's probably like 489.9 or something realistically, because I don't have a super accurate scale. So here's the other one. Here's number 2, 490. So you can see it's like teetering right between the two. So that's, you can kind of tell that it's probably very similar. So let's go to number 3, 489. See if it's going to do anything. So that's teetering again. And the reason why I'm letting it sit there is because when you take stuff off, things stretch and things settle. So you got to let it sit there for a second. So this one's like 489, probably 489.5, something around there. Let's go to the last one here. Nice rod. 490. Let's let it settle here. All right, seems like it's probably settled in. So yeah, they're all pretty much right around 490 grams. And that's pretty good that they're all very close from the factory. Now, some people will mention that you have to balance the little end and the top end, and personally, I've never done that. So that's probably for super high performance, but I'm not going for super high performance. I just want something to replace this old worn out rod. So yeah, in my opinion, these rods are pretty good. I expect the measurements to be perfect because they use a special type of machine that everyone else uses, sun machine, honing machine, and you can just tell, by the very nature of the honing, it has to be accurate or it's not going to look right. But I will be measuring them here pretty soon. My first ones I got from maxpeeding rods. I took them to a machine shop, a machinist local to me who does engine repairs, and he put them on some kind of like vise thing, clamped them in, and then like rotated this measurement around, and then he did all 4, and he said they're perfect. So, take that what you want, but in my opinion, I trust the guy. So, yeah. All right, well, thanks for watching. These are the maxpeeding rods for the 1zz-fe engine. With the oil holes, with the oil squirt holes, which I was pretty shocked to see. And, these would be a good replacement for your rods that have stretched, their rod bolts have stretched, or their bushing is out of spec. So just something to think about if you plan on going the the route, but don't want to spend a lot of money if you're just going to go NA like me. So, but now I can turbo if I want to, which is going to be important. So thanks for watching. If you got any questions, I'll try to reply to them in the comments. Bye.